What? U.S. credit is more riskier than Spain? Seriously? Hello, this is Chart GPT today. So what's going on here? U.S. is more riskier than Spain? Well, first off, I want to look at what a credit default swap is. You've heard this term before, CDS. It goes all the way back to 2008 and some of the mortgage CDSs. But a credit default swap is basically a derivative product which serves as a form of insurance against default on an underlying borrower or debt instrument. So it's like you can buy or sell a CDS, and they're actually traded on the exchanges, whether or not you will default or not. If you default on your credit, then and you own this CDS, and you can the insurance, the person who sold it can then actually have forced to pay any losses incurred if the person or organization doesn't pay off the debt. So, and there's sovereign CDSs, and there's CDSs on actual private debt as well. But we're focusing on the sovereign debt here of the countries, and you can see by this chart, U.S. credit default prices rise above of Spain. So you can see here in the white line here that's the U.S. and Spain is in the purple, and of course you can see there just as a reference there Canada. So you can just see that the U.S. now is more riskier, and this is from the Bloomberg terminal. So this is more riskier than Spain, just a little bit, but you kind of wonder, well, why is that? First of all, take a look at overall the CDS markets here just recently. I think this is as of about July, August. It's not a current chart, but it's close to it. You can see the different default swaps, and you can see that during obviously times of financial problems, they rise because they're worried that there's a default imminent. And just recently, of course, during COVID, there was a bit of risk there. People were worried about the economy. And of course, now they're on the rise again. Despite people being told the economy is good, people are starting to worry a little bit more about the sovereign debt because of its expansion so much. And you think, well, why is CDS rising in the U.S.? Well, I think one of the key issues is we're back at it again with government shutdown potentials, and anytime there's a shutdown potential. Now, most people think, well, this is just politics, and probably. So it might spike. These CDSs might spike a little higher. They're not that expensive, but nevertheless, it's probably going to rise a little bit on this imminent shutdown. And one of these days, they're going to lock horns, and maybe there will be a credit event, or a delayed credit event that will cause that. What's interesting about CDS is probably a better way to look at credit risk across the world. Now, this is a Council for Foreign Relations Sovereign Risk Tracker. They track other risks, but CDS risks kind of show which countries are in trouble, and so these are the ones with the highest CDS risk. What I want to draw your attention to is the area in Poland around the Russian area where they have potential war in Ukraine, and I found that interesting that some of these countries that border on that Russian region are worried that loaning money to these countries, especially Poland and Romania, Bulgaria, these countries are at risk because if they do get attacked and they get into an extended war, these countries probably are at pretty good risk, potential risk that they may not pay. So that's an interesting thing there. We asked the AI what are the concerns about CDS, and you can take a look, read that in the post description link. We'll ask a polling question. Do you think that the credit default swaps are an accurate measure of whether or not there's a financial risk in a country or not? So it's quite interesting to see what people's opinion. A lot of people don't believe it's worth looking at, but I do think it's probably one of the key elements, and that's certainly what the Council for Foreign Relations look at, more so than other indicators on a financial basis. In any case, don't forget to subscribe.